Alright, welcome back. It's another morning. Buck don't know shit. We've got some stuff taken off the engine. So today, my goal is, which should be an easy goal, go ahead and get this intake and the heads off. Try to get the manifolds busted off the heads and kind of clean this up and look at it, see what we can learn. And possibly, probably, I think, gonna send these heads off, get them redone, and get ready to put all this stuff back on the car. Probably, definitely won't get it done before I go back to work, but hopefully, the heads will be ready when I get back in a month or so, and we can put this stuff on the car, get it running again. At that point, it'll be purely putting the engine back together, getting wiring done, dash done. Hopefully my heater core will come in by then, I'm hoping. And I can get this AC plenum and everything put back together the way it is supposed to be. Gonna get this taken apart. Got a lot of parts everywhere. I got to figure out a way to organize all this. Don't have as much stuff taken apart as I once did with the front suspension, rear suspension, and all that taken out. But yeah, these engine parts kind of take up some space. Got a lot of stuff to clean also. New stuff off the engine. Yeah, there is a lot to do now. So let me put you up on the pedestal and we'll get this thing broken out. It shouldn't be too hard. Looks like 8 bolts on the intake. I believe it's just 4 on each head, I believe. We'll see. Might be more than that. But yeah, get them off. And this will be fun because it's heavy and in an awkward position. So I will have to get up in the car, I'm pretty sure, to get this out. So yeah, let me get started. Okay, now I'm just gonna break these in the kind of the same order I did. Valve train bolts, I guess. Start in the back, the outside, and I'm just gonna break them one time. And loosen them all up. Do some double checking. I'm pretty sure that is everything off of it. Okay, so I think I just need a bigger pry bar here. Got all the bolts out of it. It is just stuck. And for those of y'all that haven't seen these FE engines, the manifold is actually part of the, I guess, valve cover sealing area right there. So this is where it's going to come off. It's part of the head, more or less. So I'm going to remove this bar for now. Then I got my little demolition crowbar. A little bit longer. Just A little more leverage on this thing. Broke where it looks like. So yeah, I found a little corner right here where some of the gasket material was sticking out, and I was able to make sure it's all broke loose. Throw in there. That's all loose, good. Go. Now I gotta get in here and wrestle this thing out of here. Oh shit. Maybe I should have put the kind of job would be good to have a buddy with you, but we got it out. Got her out. My little splash tray, I think these are, a little dinged up, but either get a new one or straighten that up some. But I think it'll be looking. Make sure all the pathways are open, of course, which they look like they are. The one thing I found was weird on the back side, these, even though the gasket is there for them, these are there is no, I think that's the water course, and there is no opening there, but on the heads there is. That is the back side. You can see on both heads. Now the other ones, that one lines up, that one's open, that one, and that one, and that one all line up. But those on the back, and these aren't plugged up, that's solid steel on both sides. So I don't know, I'm sure it is supposed to be that way, but just kind of curious why the heads have a water course opening there, but the intake manifold does not. Again, I'm gonna have to do some research on what all I need to do to this. Obviously, clean these gasket surfaces. I don't think I need to take this to a machine shop. I think I can just clean these up myself. Emery cloth, razor blade, little heat, whatever. That shouldn't be a problem. So let's move on to the heads. That should be easy. Again, it'll be a little heavy, but have to get in the car with it again. But and it's going to have the manifold on it, so I have to get them out, get the manifold broke loose, and go from there. So, all right. So said all right again. Of course, I hit that record button. So let's see how bad these are. So far, all the engine bolts, pulley bolts, everything's been. And of course, these, as soon as I say that, these will be a little tighter. And a lot of this is just getting harder and harder to get leverage on things. What did I dig into this engine? Yeah. They're tight. smaller pry bar and my multi-tool right there, and you see a flathead screwdriver. Got me moving, so climb back in here, fire loose a little bit better, and try not to scratch myself again on like whatever I scratch myself on, fuel line or something. I don't know what it was, but I'm bleeding.
You're bleeding, man. I ain't got time to bleed.
Movement, and it is just like the way it's wedged up against this. There we go. I got it. Okay. I think I can move it now. Probably shouldn't be wearing flip-flops doing this. Again, we've discussed this. Don't do what I do. And I am not very smart. I do stupid shit all the time. Okay. Well, here's some cylinders, some pistons. Okay, so here is my passenger side head, cylinders 1, 2, 3, and 4. The only thing that stands out to me, I didn't see any burning through. There's a slight discoloration there, but I think the gasket was fine in between all the cylinders. Don't see anywhere obvious. There's some discoloration there, maybe. That was on cylinder 1. I mean, I don't see anything obvious just looking at the gasket. The only thing that stands out to me is just kind of the different color of the valves on cylinder 3, which we did have a slightly lower compression, like 90. I believe we had 95 on this one versus, you know, these were all a little over 100. So I mean, maybe there's something going on here. Could be in the cylinder though. But or it could be nothing. I mean, if you kind of, there's definitely a lighter color to it, but it's not a big deal, I don't think. And I want to say that spark plug cylinder 3 also was much cleaner than the rest of these. I think this was where my exhaust manifold was leaking, and this side, well, I mean, one, you can see, yes, definitely burning out around the edges. And this was one that, the side that had been replaced. The bolts were different, not original. They went all the way through and had a nut on the back of them. This, you see this is all boogered up. There is old, looks like they tried to change this in the car, and like that is completely burned on. I mean, that is hard. That feels like metal. I'm sure I could scrape it off. That is hard. So this is definitely, well, it may be leaking on both sides, but I think it was for sure, well, definitely was. I mean, you can see it on the gasket. So, good thing we're getting this off. This definitely needed to be fixed. This space needs to be cleaned up. I don't think I would have ever gotten a good seal on that. So, finding out new things, learning new things. So, that's the purpose of this. Valves. Yeah, so I was wondering the exhaust side. I'm learning here, but you can just look. That's where the exhaust comes out. All of them line up with the smaller valve. So just something I'm learning there. So, you know, and then the order, I guess, towards the front of the car, they're forward ones, and the cylinders 3 and 4, they're the back ones. And I'm sure it's the same on the other head. So like when you're looking up here, you know, it'd be that one, that one, that one, and that one would be your exhaust. So, yep, still learning things every day working on this car. So, it's been a lot of fun. Okay, so this was interesting. This was completely blocked off with what I thought looked like gasket material. And I showed you on this side, you know, there's some blockage there. Took my, got my little razor blade, kind of scraping some of this crap off and poked through that, and it opened back up. So yeah, I don't know if the gasket they used just didn't have an opening, and there was like a little pinhole in it. So yeah, I don't know. That was odd, or if it just was blocked off with something else. But anyway, going around scraping old gasket material off, Uncle Tony style. Got my UTG shirt on actually, but I like his channel. You know, it's kind of old school. I don't necessarily agree with everything, you know, but he's full-blown carburetor points and all that, and I get that train of thought, but I think I'd like a little more. And I say that I go back and forth, and I'm about to have to make a decision on if I want to go with like the Petronics. I watch his channel, and he tells me that they have issues, and they probably do. But then I watch like Auto Resto Mod, those guys, and I think they throw them in everything, and they love them. So I don't know. I know it is a little more wiring. Gotta run a 12-volt wire, but I mean, I have no wires in the car, so it's an ideal time to do it. So I gotta make up my mind on that. Part of me wants to stick with points. Condensers, just old school distributor. Keep this car end of the world scenario, you know. Keep it where can't get knocked off line by EMP. Put my tinfoil hat on. I'm just kidding. We can always put an old distributor back in it if that happened. I need to get a vacuum over here. Yeah, this is not easy to get all this out of here. I'm gonna get the emery cloth pretty soon. There's some more to scrape off though, but just want to get it pretty clean before I bring it to a machine shop, so they're not cussing me when I walk out the door. Even though they could probably knock this off a lot easier than me, but they probably need a good clean surface to align it and everything. On the driver's side, gonna get this head out. Have a machine shop lined up now to work on these. I don't know, $450 for a valve job, $95 for each side that's surfaced. So if I do all three sides, you know, including the exhaust side, it's gonna be about $1,000. So I don't know. I've looked at new or refurbished heads, and what I can find available. Like a new set with valves would be about $2,000. So, or would be $2,000. From what I have found so far, and just a little bit of searching I've done. So, you know, I think nothing wrong with these, the actual heads themselves. They just need a little TLC, and they should be good as new, I think. I mean, we'll see what he says when he looks at them. Door is working. in the engine bay. At least I don't still have the hood on. Ah, fuck. Damn. So my oil checking rod is bolted to the exhaust one. Let me get that off, then I'll get the head out. All right, head number 2's off. Took a little bit of work. That bracket right there was on the bottom, the exhaust manifold. So I had to get that off to pull it. No problem, that bolt actually came out. Got some other problems, so I'll show you in a second. Just looking at these cylinders, pretty much the same on the other side as on the other side. They all look just real quick. I mean, there's some carbon buildup right at the top, but it is, I guess in my opinion, light. You can feel it getting rough, but there's not like a real ledge to it. I'm sure there is some difference. And I haven't inspected real close, but I would say these cylinders look pretty smooth. I've run my fingers in the ones that, you know, that I haven't rotated it yet to check them all, but the ones that are down, you know, running my fingers through them, there's no grooves that you feel. Everything is smooth. I can get micrometers on them, check them for roundness, but, and here it is. I told y'all I dropped this thing. The little needle valve that come out of that compression kit. So, yeah. Focus. Yeah, that's it. Cheap shit. I don't know, maybe one of the kits I bought had several of these separate, so maybe they're made to come in and out. I don't know, but anyway, it fell out and fell on the cylinder, but we have recovered it. Still got to get the fuel pump, the timing cover, and all the timing stuff off. Don't think I'm gonna pull the cam out, but I may. I'm gonna try to get those lifters out, pull them out with a little dental tool or whatever. So then come over to the head. I had the same issue on this one. This was blocked off, and you can see, I don't remember what's front and what's back. These valves on like this one, and this one, these two especially have a lot of carbon on them. This one still looks kind of wettish and different color. So yeah, I don't know. And it doesn't have all the buildup on it. I believe this is cylinder, let's see. Yeah, this is the exhaust side. Set in the car. Yeah, I believe that is cylinder 8. So that was one of the ones that we had lower compression on. These definitely all look like they were burning oil inside of them, or something. I mean, that's what I would assume. A lot of carbon buildup. This courseway was mostly blocked off. Again, like the other one on the other side was completely blocked off. Yeah, it's the same. It's plugged off. So I'm not sure, you know, what causes all that, you know, which we didn't see this on the compression test. I don't see any bleeding by in between cylinders. Little black right there coming off the bottom of that one. Could be something there. That could also just be where it tore off onto the other cylinder. Let's see, that's 5 and 7. Be on this side. No, I mean, that's 5 and that's 7. And there's no gasket material there, so there may have been some leaking going on right there, so it's possible anyway, but we're gonna fix it, so it doesn't matter. Now, big issue I have, or the issue I have, these exhaust manifold bolts. I was so close to getting that one out, and it snapped right at the end. I mean, it was like really loose, and all of a sudden it just I don't know. These all got started turning, and each one of them broke. So we gotta have one on the bottom, which isn't. These you can, worst case, you can drill these out. If you can't retap the thread, you can put a stud through them and a nut on the backside. These you can't do that. So got to get this out, whether that means drilling it out or trying to back it out. Okay, this one back here, which this is good news because this is the one I was worried about on the bottom. Came right out with vice grips, no heat, nothing. I tried heat on these with vice grips with no luck. Haven't tried anything with that one yet because it's flat. I mean, I'll probably try the screw removal, bolt removal kit first and then go to drilling out. But see, I got my slots in it. Probably not going to work, but we're going to give it a shot. Big flathead screwdriver, the multi-tool. I can find that dude. Oh, there it is, laying in a bunch of oil. Beautiful. I'll clean that up, and it is, I believe that one fits a 1-inch, which I was using it yesterday. What the hell did I do with it? There it is. Yeah, 1-inch box end wrench. And see if I can turn these out of there. I have like 0% success with these damn screw removal kits. Just using this little crescent wrench right here. It's like what, an 8-inch, maybe 10-inch. I don't know. Not very big. You know, medium-sized crescent wrench. Snap this sucker off. You know what I mean? Like I'm holding one hand on this side, crescent wrench on it. I wasn't even really putting out that much. Couldn't put out, you know, because trying to hold back up with my hand over here and turn on it, and this thing just snapped right off. So now I've got the end of this in my screw or my bolt. I knew I should have just drilled these out. Would have made life easier. Another failure, another win for cheap tools. Speaking of cheap tools though, I was at Harbor Freight the other day buying a compression kit, which broke the first time I used it. True story. It did work for cylinder number 8, and then when I tried cylinder number 7, it was broke already. So, but I did get a free gift while I was there, and it was these titanium drill bits. What's the brand? Is the brand just titanium? Surely. Oh, Warrior titanium index drill bit set. So it has a 1964 drill bit, which I did not have, which is perfect for drilling out these 5/16 bolts. As long as I'm centered, which I am not on that one, but we will, like I said, if we booger up the threads. I did this under the car, and I didn't have the right size drill bit, and it worked out, so I'm pretty sure this will all work out. But anyway, let me get to drilling. That little bitch, and up there you can see it, is some hard ass steel. Not tough, but it is hard. My drill bit, and this is my expensive drill bit kit. Maybe I'll try the cheap drill bits. That, by the way, these cut through these like butter. Like, you know, for one cut at least, they are very sharp. So we'll see how long they last. Of course, I'll probably never use a, whatever this was, 1964 drill bit again. But for those two bolts, it cut right through them, no problem. and I will see about if I can tap these again or not. I haven't got to that. I got to figure this. Eesh, that shit is hard. I might have to pay my local machine shop to get that one out. I don't know. Damn. I knew I should have just drilled that out. I was thinking, I was like, you know, Bucky, just drill it out. And I was like, well, you know, the other Bucky was like, well, you know, that one seemed like it was coming out pretty easy. And then it just broke right at the end. So maybe it won't be tight and we can just back it out real quick. That's what I was thinking. Obviously, I was wrong. And now I have made a bigger mess than what I had. And it's off-centered. Maybe that's why I decided to try it, because I had drilled it off-centered. And these were centered up. I don't know. But anyway, bad decision.